this is what folks do today. They usually send out a video and they have a little bookshelf behind them, so I feel like this is appropriate. I made sure and brought the food for you guys too that you did not get the other night. I'm sorry for that, but I will make good use of this. Got a lot of kids to feed at home, I suppose, and heck, staff just ate another half of it, so we had a lot of delicious manjas last night. It was so good. Anyways, to get down to the details, Father Tom pretty much gave his vision for marriage ministry here at St. Pat's and how much he loves it, how much he's enjoyed it over the years, how many thousands of marriages he's helped prepare and then counsel afterwards for a variety of different reasons. And I think that that's a big benefit of the Catholic Church. People will probably say like, oh great, more hurdles to jump through, more classes, more prep time, more this, more that. But I see it as a benefit, and I think so does Father Tom. I know Aaron does as well. When you're able to help an engaged couple to find out more about themselves, about their spouses, about what God is calling them to as they enter into the sacrament. It was a great lead off with Father Tom, and he said a lot of things only Father Tom could say. So I'm not going to try to say what he said because I'm not Father Tom. No, I'm not. Then we got into some of the opportunities, and to make it quick for you guys, we have 3 opportunities we'd like to expand marriage ministry out to. Some things we kind of do already, and some things would be augmentations of what we already do. The first thing would really center around marriage prep. So Father Tom does marriage prep, 5 to 7 sessions with each couple that he sees. He sees about 40 couples, and then our associate, who will soon be Father Stack, was Father Mosier, will see about 10 to 12 marriages as well. So they take people through the focus. They talk about a lot of things that they've always talked about when they prepare a couple for marriage. And I love it because it's like, yeah, they've never been married, and people have a problem with that sometimes, that a Catholic priest is doing prep and they've never actually been married. But I see it as a way like, if I go to a PT for a rotator cuff tear, just because they've never had the rotator cuff torn doesn't mean they haven't seen 1,000 rotator cuff tears and know exactly what's best for me. And I see Father Tom and Father Stack as the experts, and Father Mosier. Yeah, he's an expert. I see them as the experts in those areas because they've seen it from an outside view. But I think that there's also another aspect to marriage and preparing for marriage when you're talking to a couple who's been in the nitty-gritty for thousands of days, for years on it, 20, 25, 30 years. People have been going through marriage and they've seen the ups and downs of marriage, and to be able to offer that perspective is helpful as well. So we're going to expand our marriage prep to involve marriage mentor couples. Now, before we get to where you guys might be able to come into play is we're going to allow each engaged couple to choose their own marriage mentors. It's going to be somebody that has been married for 5 years, they belong to the parish, and they're in good standing with the parish. At first, I was a little bit unsure about how that would work because we want to have our best couples mentoring these engaged people. But the more I thought about it and the more I've experienced it myself as I'm involved in marriage mentoring across town, is when you don't know the engaged couple and you get placed with the engaged couple, it's not always organic, it doesn't always flow. You're not always the exact person for that couple. But I think this opens up the opportunity for this engaged couple to feel welcome, that they're able to choose their own mentors, and they're able to already have that relationship. So when they're having conversations, the relationship's already there. It's already organically been made. And when we're going through the program will be all about virtues and vices and, a lot of things that everyone would just agree on are good. Not so much theological, but these 2 couples are going to be sitting there working through the same material together, and they're both going to be evangelized as they go through it, or the intent is. So we're actually getting a 2-for-1 evangelization opportunity where it's not just the marriage, not just the engaged couple that's getting evangelized, but the other couple as well. If you think about it like RCIA, some of us have gone through that process. And if you were already a Catholic going through RCIA, many people have said, I'm so glad I went through this. I'm already Catholic, but I've learned so much just sitting here and relearning some of the things I already forgot. And we hope the same thing goes for this marriage mentor couple. Like I said, the program goes through a virtues base so that the couple isn't supposed to know necessarily all of Catholic theology, but we're talking about honesty, trust, humility, things that everybody can agree on as being good. And when it comes to the theology and some of the more touchy subjects, we're going to allow the priests to talk on that because that seems to be their specialty. Now, if a couple comes here and they don't know anybody in the parish, that's where people like you could come in, where we're going to have a list of people who are known as, some people call them showcase couples. I call them backups. I think that's more humble to be known as a backup instead of a showcase. Anyways, where maybe you and your spouse would consider being marriage mentors for these couples, where you would step in and do the exact same thing. Yes, the relationship won't be organic, but they don't really know anybody here anyways, and Father Tom's going to be the one who will hopefully find that he meets the couple first, and then comes to realize, hey, this couple kind of seems to be putting out these kind of vibes. They would fit very well with XYZ couple, and try to match make people based on him knowing both couples. So that would be one opportunity. Another opportunity, and the next two will be very quick, would be small groups at St. Pat's. I know we've had marriage enrichment for a long time here at St. Pat's, so looking to revive a little bit of that and some other things too. Any tools out there that we can find, any small group opportunities that we can get couples involved with like-minded couples or couples that go to their same parish. We had many couples, not many, but a few couples last night who had never met each other, only coming to realize that their kids go to school together, that their kids are involved in the same sports together, and they've been to the same events, but never knew each other. But just finding people in your community that can help build you up in this very community right here. It would be the logical conclusion of those who go through marriage prep and then continue on in small groups. But for those who have already gone through marriage prep in our parish right now and don't have a small group, whether it be someone who's been married for less than 5 years, someone who's been married more than 5 years, we're looking to open up a lot of opportunities in the small group area. So if you and your spouse would like to kick off some small groups with you and your friends, I mean, sounds ridiculous. You know, hey, we'd like to kick off a small group with some wine and hors d'oeuvres or appetizers with all of our best friends and talk about marriage. Great. There's all kinds of different curriculums out there we could use. So we're looking for some couples that would like to do that. And then finally, the third option would be a quarterly marriage enrichment evening where we do what we did last night. We just get a bunch of food and couples would be in charge of putting on the event. So we'd have a team, and not that everybody would do everything every single time, but 4 times throughout the year, certain couples are in charge of putting on the event, whether we have whatever kind of food we have, whatever kind of drink we have. We'll talk about a different topic, whether it be communication, finances, kids, sex, all the different kind of things that come up in a marriage. We would sit there and have a couple give their witness talk. We would maybe have some theology there, who knows? And then we'd break off into small groups and have couples who maybe don't know each other coming to this event for the first time, open to the whole parish, where we come in and just talk about marriage for an evening. So basically that was a reverse order, but we would have a big event with those quarterly marriage enrichment nights. We'd have smaller groups, and then we'd have the smallest, which would be marriage mentors. And there's an opportunity for people to be involved in any of those. So I've been encouraging the people last night just to take time and pray with their spouse, talk with their spouse, discuss with their spouse, and see if they find that these things would be good for them. Because honestly, as I've been a marriage mentor in another parish, I found it to be only awesome for my wife. It's easy for me to get involved in my own things at church, but having things where my wife and I can both be involved, we're both doing it together, it's good for our marriage. Not only are we giving to the parish, but we're also getting back. So we had a blast last night. We missed you guys, but hopefully that video helps kind of summarize what we talked about, and hopefully I can get it to you if I'm technological enough. Thank you guys.